This word right now is all about being conscious. It's all about knowing who you are, knowing who your enemy is, because every species on the planet has an enemy. You don't see mice hanging with cats. You understand? See the hyenas with lions.
Yeah, that's when they fucked it up when Tom and Jerry got cool together.
What else do your enemy need to do to show you he's your enemy?
Yeah.
What else do they need to do, bro? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know.
Hey guys, Dabu7, a very important video here. Things are changing rapidly out there. And what we have now is some well-timed releases of information through the mainstream. Now, we've got to look at this for what it is. First off, this is something we've warned about for years. I initially dropped the Beast blockchain video back in 2017, warning where this was going to go when this got on blockchain. You won't be able to hide your money under your mattress. In a safe, you won't be able to hide it at all. They will know every move. So, all of a sudden, throughout everything we've been living through in 2020, they started to take back the coins. They never made no huge announcements saying why. But they said, we're going to take back the coins. It's what started happening everywhere, and they're not giving them back at all. Also, your normal penny right now is worth way more than the 1 cent value on the market than what it's being used for. Not to mention, silver is starting to tick up, and it's going to explode, and when it does, all this currency, all these metals that are floating around out there across the country, copper and silver, they're going to be worth something, and people will be cashing them in to get the value out of it. Well, guess what? Your government's one step ahead of you. They're just going ahead and taking it beforehand before they say anything about it. This is huge. And what we said when they started taking back the coin is that you wait till the fiat goes. They're taking your coinage now and not giving it back. You just wait till the fiat comes. And everyone's always been talking about the death of the dollar, and rightfully so, trying to get a bead on what's going to happen. But what we're seeing here is about to be the death of fiat. Do you understand this? Let this sink in. Not just the US dollar. You're talking fiat currency globally is about to get wiped out. This is a huge move. Huge. And they're not saying a word about it? Of course not. The way that they're playing this is so slick and so smooth. All the lemmings out there in society aren't even asking any questions. It's like boiling the frog. It's happening in such slow motion that it's working to their advantage, and the people don't even realize what's going on. So, not only is this about to happen en masse, they're saying that the use case for cash is plunging. And that's all they got to do is control the narrative, control the headlines, and say this and that, and they'll push it, and the lemmings will accept it. So your biggest enemy is all the lemmings around you accepting what the totalitarians are enforcing on us all. You realize that, don't you?
How dirty is our money? The onset of the coronavirus pandemic is forcing institutions around the world to rethink about one particularly germy surface: cold, hard cash. This is going to be hard to hear, but according to multiple studies, microorganisms found living on the surface of cash and even credit cards range from mouth and vaginal bacteria to flu-like viruses. But what if you can make your daily purchases without touching a thing? Welcome to Sweden, where thousands of people are inserting tiny microchips under their skin so that they no longer have to carry cash, IDs, gym passes, and key cards to get into work.
I have 2 microchip implants, one on the right and one on the left. I got the micro implants because I wanted to be part of the future. I don't need keys, so I'm able to actually open the doors with my hands.
These tiny chips are about the size of a grain of rice, and they're implanted into the back of the hand with a syringe. And so far, about 3,000 Swedes have gotten them implemented.
So in Sweden, you can actually use it to put your train tickets inside. You can actually use it with Scandinavia's biggest gym chain, so you don't actually need to show your membership card. I use it personally as a business card, so you can actually put your phone on my hand and then my LinkedIn pops up.
So who's behind this technology? This is Hans Sepienshowblad, and he's the CEO and co-founder of Disruptive Subdermals. They're one of the leading companies when it comes to developing microchip technologies.
I first encountered chip implants for humans almost 10 years ago. I felt that this is a very interesting technology that we could potentially do some awesome things with. So I bought a bunch online, got together a bunch of friends, and we had our first chip implant party. The number one reason for getting an implant is simply convenience. It allows you to eliminate some of the clutter in your life. Implants can also be used for making payments. For example, here at Epicenter in Stockholm, we use our implants in different vending machines, buying snacks and candy and juices whenever we feel like it.
Microchips may sound too futuristic for you, but Sweden is expected to be the world's first cashless economy by March of 2023. But now, microchips could be used for more than just convenience. They have the potential to change healthcare and the way governments are handling the coronavirus crisis.
I am convinced that smart implants will provide a marvelous value to people who suffer from different health conditions and need to be able to log their vital parameters on a regular basis. It could be body temperature, pulse, blood pressure, and imagine if you could just do that by swiping yourself with a smartphone at any time. For example, the implants that we designed allow people to measure their body temperature. Has some very interesting applications to see how fever is spreading in the population, and I think that we will really need those tools to not least understand the ongoing pandemic, but in particular to be able to spot future pandemics at an early stage.
But how safe is your data in a body chip?
So I'm not particularly concerned about the hacking dimension of implants, because ultimately the processing of data doesn't happen in the implant. It's simply a sensor platform. All the processing happens in the smartphone. That's where the data is analyzed and where it's packaged and presented.
Cybertech experts still cite potential issues with data handling. If data isn't secure, others can access your info. And once it's out there, it's hard to get back. And in some cases, users could even be giving their data away without even realizing it in the terms and conditions that they sign on their smartphones. But with the way technology is headed, we could see a future where microchip implanting becomes the norm.
I believe that I'm going to be able to use my microchips to do payments in the future, identification, tickets.
In Sweden, every shop, in every kiosk, in public transport, there are always these touch terminals where people either touch their phone or their wallet with a credit card inside. So this means that the infrastructure for making payments also with an implant are already there.
The question is, could this Black Mirror type of technology be implemented in other countries?
Han's ultimate vision is to take health microchips to developing countries where healthcare systems are less developed, so that people in remote areas with limited access to hospital facilities can just send their health information to doctors around the world to receive diagnosis. But until that technology is fully developed, would you be willing to get a microchip?